Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, jobs for January. It's 2024. Who keeps writing 23 at the moment? Takes a little bit of getting used to, but we've now moved the blueberry bushes from out of the fruit cage, planted them up in these planters that we've had for quite a while that have been stuck in the corner. They've had Hyecho compost, so hopefully they'll do a lot better now, being contained within a container. They're supposed to do better. So these are the jobs I did yesterday, Saturday the 6th. We managed to get those blueberries out, tidied up. We've straightened up those edges. We've put some new pegs in to make it look more pleasing to the eye. And we don't want any nasty trips or falls. We've tidied up, we've put down the log ashes, and over there, that dark area is where the last blueberry bush is, and it's had a mulching of acacia compost. So that's what we did yesterday here on plot 3. We've put some new supports at each end. It doesn't look too bad now. Just if you close one eye, it looks fine. Those have now had the log ashes. We've completed the pruning of the end one. Everything's now tied in. And I think that looks a lot better. Getting these jobs done now will save all the hassle when it all starts regrowing again, because things are starting to grow. It's been knocked back now a little bit with this cold weather that we're having. So a good time to have a nice tidy up, get rid of all that old wood, give the new wood a chance to take all the nutrients up and produce some nice fruit in the summer. Like I say, we've had log ashes and we've also added some manure runoff concentrate to give them a little bit of a boost, because if you ever dig any of these raspberries up, black currants, they're all starting to shoot down by the roots. So they'll appreciate that little bit of nitrogen. We've also add a little bit of a tidy up on this one as well, put a few extra screws in just to try and tighten those strops up a little bit. Again, these have been mulched with, we've got log ashes, and then we've mulched up with some of the compost that we find. So need to get on with that. So we're on day 2. I spent 3 hours yesterday getting all this sorted. Doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it needs to be done. So this is the compost we find, and all I'm doing is getting it out of the bags. At least these bags now are off where these people blight it, because they do break down really slowly. At least I'm getting rid of the plastic from the verges and lanes. And I'm just running through it, just breaking it up a little bit. It's very wet. The actual grow bags that they use, I'll just crumple those up. We'll get those out at a later date. I think the mice have been in some of the bags, whether it be where I found it or here on the allotment. A lot of it's really wet. But it'll get even wetter after all this rain. Right, let's get mulching. Doesn't really matter if I get it onto the wood chips, because the wood chips will be harvested at a later date. And hopefully I can get some wood chips and make it look really pretty. I'm using the Think Green thermal recycled gloves today, keeping my hands nice and warm. The Cool Job link is in the description below. Oh well, that looks better. Let's move into the fruit cage and get that sorted. while we're in the mood. Just another little improvement, I've removed the bottom strop and moved it up here. The bottom one wasn't doing any good and it was hindering me collecting the fruit. But let's get it all mulched up on this left hand side, and I'll let you know the plans that I'm trying to think of on the right hand side. Don't that look better? Getting these little jobs done keeps up the motivation, and if I can inspire anybody to keep their mojo going, because we should never lose our mojo. If you come up to your allotment or garden, come in, do a little bit, complete something, you'll feel so much better for it. So this is the problem side of the fruit cage. We've got some of the green netting on, the pea netting that never worked. The fence originally had got the chicken wire and sheep netting, which causes me issues in getting to the weeds. So I've got to cut all that out and rebuild all that so that there's no more wire below the surface, because that's completely buried. I might struggle to get it out. If I do, I'll leave it. But while I've got it all dismantled, I can replace the posts. But that will be a job to start and finish on another day. Something to look forward to, he says. I can now dispose of that plastic responsibly. And when I made my New Year's resolution to break the habit of being addicted to collecting compost, looking at that now, we're probably down to 1,800 litres out of the 3,800 that we found. So we will see how long I last before I collect any. Does anybody want to take a guess? Drop it in the comments. I've got this timber here, some roofing laths from not a find as such, but my brother replaced his roof and said, did you want any? So I've got those now. They might help with that. I'll just remove the odd nail, etc. But I do need to get this sorted to give light to the strawberries. But one of my sponsors have asked if I wanted a 6 metre by 3 metre polytunnel, or give me a choice of things to have. So we may need to clear all this to accommodate that. Best laid plans. I left these in here because I want to give them a chance, so it won't hurt removing them. The rhubarb isn't doing 100% like I'd like it, so we might just use that one crown and maybe move it to the end there where the raspberries aren't doing so well. But unfortunately I shall have to move these Vegega beds with the dahlias in. Oh well. I do seem to make myself work, but sometimes when things come along you have to take it as and when it comes. We're an hour and 20 minutes in this morning after the little chat and walk around with you and the odd jobs. Now I want to see how well this is actually wicking, or whether it needs the top taking off to just give it a start. I'll get something to climb on and we'll have a little look. There's the wick, there's the string that was holding the wick up. It's pretty well dry in there, other than a little bit of water that I dripped in off the cover. I'll have a little dig down now and we'll see if there's any wicking going on, because this compost was as dry as you could see it at the top there. You might be able to see on camera, it's just a little bit damp, the wick is, but it's not wicking into the compost very well. As we all know, the compost, once it's dry, it does take a lot of getting moist. So we'll leave this open now and let the elements have it. I just wanted to do a little experiment to see whether the dry compost would absorb any water from the tank. It's not doing it as well as I'd like, so we'll just give it a helping hand throughout the rest of the winter. So to give me a head start for the next little project, I'll move that wood over and we'll make a little start on it and see how far we get before it's time to go home. I like to spend a few hours just so that I can achieve something and go home fully satisfied that I've done what I can. Never waste any screws, guys. I'll salvage those. That's why I like to use decking screws. They're a few years old but come out nice and clean. Well, I can see what I'm looking at now, and I've tried cutting the wire, which is successful. So I shall cut all that out, and I think I'm going to have to take the wire out, take these posts out and start all fresh. They've been in since I was given this allotment, so at least the allotment pliers are still good. I don't like to leave good stuff at the allotment. Only leave at the allotment what you can afford to lose. So before I go today, I'm going to see if I can find some nice winter vegetables to harvest. I'll take a cabbage, but I think I've got to take all three, even though some are looking a bit manky, but I can cut them all down and give them away because I've got to get this tidied up and get the strawberries planted. Another little job for January. We'll see how the carrots are doing this January 2024. We'll grab some more of the Christmas potatoes, the Wilger. Not exactly a Christmas potato, but we had a nice little harvest before on Christmas morning. The carrots are nicely protected with the plastic. A really good mulching of cocoa coir, and I do like to take them out a row at a time, see how they're doing. You can see they're growing, but they're looking good at the moment. Will I get a full row without one with a leg on it? See, the roots are starting to grow now because of this, so they're still solid. That's how I prefer to store my carrots over the winter. And realistically, we haven't had a proper winter yet. And there's that one there. I'll just prepare all this so the water runs down into this corner. Get them covered up again. They look nice. So these are the Wilger. They were planted on the 26th of the 8th. They did have a little bit of life in them. I'll put this back into my storage area. So he hopes to find some, but they're absolutely lovely as a salad potato, Christmas potato. They don't take up no room, they don't cost nothing other than the actual outlay of the seed. But I should be saving those continuously now until I lose them completely. All my potatoes are stored in the fridge at home, in the shed. There's the old potato, look, fully spent. Bore you to death. They are quite a nice potato, especially when you have them nice and small. One we've got 4 seeds in, one I've got 3. Have a fertile through that. See if there's any more, which there are. Found it easier to put the compost straight into the bin very slowly to make sure I catch all those very baby ones so we don't get volunteers next year. Sweet candle carrots, Wilgia potatoes, Crispus F1 sprouts, Red Bull sprouts, cauliflower graffiti, and Clapton F1, and a nice small red cabbage. I've had to cut half of it off. It was full of earwigs and other little creatures, including worms. Don't want to take that home to Mrs. K. She won't be amused. The rest of that can go on the compost heap. I do like to take something home from my allotment every time I visit, even if it is bags of rubbish. Keeping the place tidy just keeps us motivated. If you've liked the content of this video, please remember the thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. Leave me a comment, and why not consider subscribing. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.